Good morning, class 7. I am Anil Bhagat, your science teacher from Modern International School, Hiswa. Welcome back to our e-learning program. Today in this video lecture, we revise chapter 3, that is fiber to fabric. Last day we had discussed about a lot about the ship, rearing of ship. Now today we are going to discuss some more points also related with this sheep cultivation and production of wool. So last day we had discussed about selective breeding and crossbreeding. Now today we are going to discuss about the rearing and breeding of sheep and also about processing fibers into wool. So these are the question answers we are going to discuss today. These are the topics we are going to revise today. So in our country, if you observe in the colder parts of the country like northern part, Jammu, Kashmir, Punjab, Haryana, Uttaranchal, Gujarat, these are the parts where sheep are cultivated. These are the parts where sheep are reared and grown for the wool. So these are very cold parts, so the body here help them to survive. The shepherds, the people who reared sheep, they took them and they allow them to graze in the field, and they graze well. But in winter, what happened? There is too much winter, so they stay inside their shelter. They don't go out and they eat leaves, grain and dry fodder. So this is the food in the winter season for the sheep. Except that the shepherds gave a mixture to the sheep for the proper development of their growth. Some minerals are added to that, and except that mixture of pulse, corn, jowar, oil cakes. These are mixed in a proper proportion and give to the sheep for the proper growth. Now, in some parts of the area like Rajasthan and Punjab, there is a sheep called Lohi, and they produce good quality of wool. In the areas of Uttar Pradesh and Himachal Pradesh, there is a sheep called Rampur Bushari. They also produce brown flesh. Next, Rajasthan, Haryana, Punjab, there is a sheep called Mali, and the wool they produce, it is called carpet wool. Then in Jammu Kashmir, that is Bhakarwal, that is the wool produced by them, they are used for woolen shawls. They are used for woolen shawls. Then there is a species called Marwari, which is in Gujarat, and they produce coarse wool. Then there is a Patanwadi, okay, and these are produced in Gujarat. So these are the some species of sheep which is produced in our different parts of our country, and they produce good quality of wool. Now we have to understand that this certain breeds of sheep have thick coat of hair on their body, which yields good quality of wool in large quantities. Remember, we had discussed about selective breeding. So these wools are produced by that type of sheep which is produced after selective breeding. Now, we produce sheep after selective breeding. And now once reared sheep have developed into a thick growth of wool, they are removed from their body, and then they are processed for getting wool. So normally what we observe that for the processing fibers into wool. Now this is our next topic, processing fibers into wool. So whatever sweaters and weaving shawls we have, these are produced from the processed wool. The sheep are shaved and the wool we get, it is processed, and then we get the wool, and then we use it to produce fiber. So now what are the processes which are done by us for getting wool? So first of all, there is a process called shearing. In this process, the flesh of the sheep along with their layer of skin is removed from its body, and this process is called shearing. The sheep doesn't get hurt because the upper surface of the layer of skin is dead. Like we also remove sometimes our hair, so we don't feel pain the same way they don't feel pain, and it will grow again. And this is normally done in the summer season. So in this season they don't need wool to survive, they can survive without their wool, so we save them. And now after this the processing starts. So in the next process, this wool is thoroughly washed to remove grease, dust and dirt, and this process is called scouring. And nowadays it is done by machines. Nowadays it is done by the help of machine. Now comes the third step, that is after scouring, sorting is done. Means removal of hairing skin is sent to a factory where hair is different textures are separated or sorted. So here sorting is done, that is different textures of hair is removed from each other. Now after removing of this process comes the fourth process, the small fluffy fibers called burrs. They are removed from the wools. Sometimes the sweaters we wore, the thread-like structures coming out from the sweaters, these are called the burrs. So these burrs are removed, and after that they are again scoured and dried. Means the process of scouring again done, that is thoroughly washing, and then this wool is ready to drawn into fibers. And now comes the fifth step, that these wools are dyed in various type of colors. The natural flesh of sheep and goats is black, brown or white. Only three colors. Maybe black, maybe brown, maybe white. But here different colors are added to them. And then comes the sixth step. After coloring, the fibers are straightened, combed and rolled into yarn. So the layer of fibers are made into wool for sweaters, and shorter fibers are spun and woven into woolen cloth. So here these are the processes done by machines and in factories, and after that we get the woolen fibers. So first of all comes the process of shearing, then comes the process of scouring, then comes the sorting, then again comes the process of clearing and scouring, then dyeing and then rolling. So after this process we get the woolen fibers. There is a problem in this woolen industry, and that is called a disease called anthrax, and that is called a disease anthrax. At the time of sorting, the sorter's job has a risk that the people get infected by a bacterium, anthrax, and they are hurt, especially in the lungs. They have problems, especially in the lungs they have problem, and fatal blood disease called sorter's disease, and there is a fatal blood disease called sorter disease. So this type of risk the workers faced is called the occupational hazard, Like we teachers also faced occupational hazards. Like if you students don't listen to us, we have to keep shouting. We have to keep shouting. So this will hamper our this part called voice box, and some teachers may suffer from throat cancer because they keep on shouting for their whole life. So this is occupational hazard. We cannot help it because children have a nature of moving here and there, fighting, jostling, quarreling, don't listen to us, sitting quietly. So it is a part and parcel of our job. So this is called a occupational hazard. This is called occupational hazard. Now I hope you are able to understand the revision of this chapter, that is especially the production of wool from sheep. If any problem, ask me class, I will help you. Have a great day. Be safe at home. Thank you.